I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's a filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
This is...
Thin Lizzy, right? That's what you said. Okay, so the name of the song, the band is Thin Lizzy, and the name of the song is Holy War.
Listen, this is not going to work.
What?
This seating arrangement is not going to work.
Okay, well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
We will.
Okay, guys. Thin Lizzy, the name of this song is... Where'd it go?
Holy War.
Holy War. Let's go. Starting with the verse. I was not expecting that. Do it.
Will adore me, bow before me, and
Huh. So I looked up Thin Lizzy to see if they were a Christian band because I was like, oh, this is a standard Christian thingamajig.
Oh, wow.
But
really?
They're actually, it's a very interesting story because if you look up here, not only are they a multiracial band, but the band drew their early members not only from both sides of the Irish border, but also both the Catholic and Protestant communities during the Troubles. Remember that with the zombie song? It's about that. So when he's singing about this war and all the rest of it, that's in the background.
Oh wow!
See what I'm saying? Like, and then you've got two Christian groups. You've got Catholics and Protestants. And I understand a very hardcore Protestant will say Catholics are not Christians. I understand that. I acknowledge it. I'm not that guy. They're Christians. That's my belief. But, okay, we'll talk about that another time. But you got two Christian groups going after each other. So it's interesting because, and he's talking about, this is the law, blah, blah, blah. And if you're not conversant with what these people have been through in the name of religion, particularly Christian religion, it kind of looks like, oh, it's a hokey Christian song.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I don't know. In the chorus, we're chosen, we're one, we're frightened of no one. No one will win this war.
I actually thought they were mocking at that point.
Well, that's what I'm saying because it's so hokey in Christian-y. But if you actually if you look at it as the band saying that, the band being in defiance of their particular Christian community, then the chorus makes it has a lot more meaning. Because when he says we, you've got Catholics and Protestants and multiracial people in the same band. So there's so many opportunities for division.
Yeah.
Oh, how could you play music with him? He's a Catholic. How could you play music with him? He's white. Blah, 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 blah. And so they're saying, man, we were chosen for this, and we're not scared of none of you guys. Fuck you guys. Of course, he didn't say fuck you guys. It's a very, very conciliatory message, but it's very, very, it's a very, very powerful song. Would you say the live version was was stronger? Damn it, Sean. Damn it to hell. Go look at the live version. Maybe what we'll do, Mod, can you please get rid of that webcam person, whoever that person is.
But you don't forget to report them.
Yeah, report them.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Listen, if you're a sex worker, no, I have no judgments for you. But we don't believe in exploiting the female body or the male body for people's sexual gratification. So we have no judgments for you. It's just not something we're going to tolerate on the channel, okay? Right. Yeah, so you got these warring factions, and they're saying, hey, we were chosen for this, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Really good song. Yeah. Really, 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 really good song. Really good lyrics. And like I said, it just when you have that in the background, it just gives you a deeper feel for the lyrics and what they were actually trying to say. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sent the live version. My bad, dude. What I was trying to do was find lyric videos. You see what I'm saying? So I was trying to find lyric videos so people could follow along. But yeah, bro. Definitely next time I'll try to be. Listen, for other DJs, if you have hey, this would really, really, really work. Even if it's an official or a live or whatever. Like if you say, hey, I really, really want you to do this version, we'll do our best to do that version. We already did that earlier. One of the songs got blocked and the stream got interrupted, but we're okay. So don't worry about that. So try when you do the DJ stream, try to get the exact type of video that you want us to review. Sean did his due diligence. He did it. I just did a different one because I was trying to find a lyric video. I'm just saying going forward. Okay, back to our regular scheduled program. And of course, he then asks the big question, right? And because the big question is, well, if God is there, then why are children suffering?
Yeah.
If you will adore me and bow before me and pray to my name, if you place no God before me, then all I have is yours to claim. So that's the first paragraph.
It's also not true.
How is it not true?
And this is why I didn't think it was a Christian band at all. If you will adore me, it sounds like how people that don't know God explain him. If you will adore me, bow before me, and praise my name. If you place no other God before me, then all I have is yours to claim. That's not even how it goes. There's plenty of stuff that God has that we don't have, even if He is your God. And then people say God will never give you more than you can handle. Not true.
Yeah, but All of those phrases are in the Bible, though.
What? That he won't give you more than you can
Bow
handle?
before me, praise my name, place no God before me.
That all I have is yours to claim?
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with that line either. I think you could make a biblical case, but it says that we're going to inherit the universe with Christ in Romans 8.
Yeah.
That we will rule with Christ if we suffer with him. Revelation 2, I'll grant him authority to sit by my throne.
Yeah, but this doesn't talk about suffering. This just, like, basically talks about if you... It sounds like just blind following, the way that they explain it. Adore me, bow before me, praise my name. Because I don't think that, like... I think that the biggest thing, if you were to write this accurately, it would be more like, if you will know me, because just like we want God to know us, he wants us to know him as well. And so if you know God and you get to know him and you read the Bible to get a deeper understanding of who he is, and when you're praying, you're talking to him and all that stuff's happening, then, I mean, sure.
Something's going on with your mic. That's why it's important to have headphones so you know how you register.
Yeah, but I have to earplugs at night, and it hurts my ears. Like my canal hurts. I know.
Okay. So go ahead. What were you saying?
So to me, I didn't think it was a Christian band at all. And then it just goes, that to me, that's like the typical, that's the big question. If God, like...
I completely disagree. I have no idea what you're talking about. If you will adore me, bow before me, and praise my name, if you place no God before me, all I have is yours to claim. How is that wrong? All of that is biblical.
I said, when I'm reading it, the way that I'm looking at it as, yeah, you could see God saying, like, that stuff, but at the same time, you could also, if a Christian who loves God reads that or says that, or an atheist says that, it's two different things.
Well, that's true for everything. I guess we'll have to share our mic. I don't know what's going on with your mic. That's true for anything.
Okay, so when I heard this song, I pictured it was coming from an atheist and not a Christian. You pictured it was coming from a Christian.
No.
I thought you said at the beginning
Even
of this
if
that it sounded like a Christian.
Even if an atheist said that, I'd agree with it. There's nothing unbiblical about that.
No, because the way that he's saying it looking at it as like, and if God is in the heavens, why did God let children die?
That's a second stanza.
Yeah, but it's still coming from the same person,
that's
right?
That's what happened.
What?
No, I completely disagree with you. I think what he's saying is the first line sounds good. The first paragraph sounds good, but if that's the case, then how could we believe that you're going to follow through on that promises when the second paragraph is also true? If you're this good God who can give me the whole world, then what are you doing letting kids die? What's wrong with you? So I didn't take that first line. That first stanza I didn't take as a negative thing.
I guess I'm not surprised.
All those things are true.
You know how when you read the Old Testament, what you got from God from the Old Testament, what I got from God from the Old Testament were two different things?
I'm not certain that you were actually reading the passages, though, because when I talk to you about the passages, you always go, oh, I never saw that before.
Saw it like that.
There's some passages where I'll quote it, and you're like, no, and I have to show you, no, it's right there. Like,
I mean, I've read the Bible all the way through.
I feel like people...
But you're not going to take in everything that you read.
But most of us come to the book with a template. Like, for example, most people assume that the mark of Cain is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Most people look at the mark of Cain as a curse because people have that as a template because they say, oh, Cain is a bad guy. He's portrayed as a bad guy. So obviously God must be, when it says mark of Cain, it must be a punishment. Yeah. So when I showed you that text, like I didn't show you anything like brand new. So when you say you've read it, yeah, have you read it without any, or with the cognizance of trying to limit biases as much as you can? Because when I see adore, right? When I see adore, when it says, if you will adore me, yeah, that to me is a very relational phrase. As a matter of fact, for him to lead with that is massive, because adoration is a relational emotion many times. So, and adoration comes from the fact that the person or thing you're adoring is having a positive effect on you. Adoration does not happen spontaneously in the sense that randomly out of nowhere. Like, you don't randomly go up to somebody in the street and adore them. Mm-hmm. You adore someone who has done something exceptional to benefit you. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting in the Old Testament, when God says, you shall have no gods before me, he starts it off. You know how God starts off the 10 Commandments? I am Yahweh who brought you up out of Egypt. Right?
Okay.
So that's really interesting because I don't hear any of that. So I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
So if I say to you, if you said, "Hey, sorry, do you want to marry me?" and I had said to you, "I will," if you adore me and you bow before me and you praise my name, and if you don't put any other women before me, then yeah, I'll marry you. Okay, there's like a negative sound to that, right? Because of what I'm asking you to do, because I'm just a human and I'm not a god, right?
Well, you're not the God.
Yes.
Well, no, that's an important distinction, right?
Okay, yes. I'm not the god. You see where but sometimes I feel like we're missing the forest for the trees, whatever that saying is.
Well, when you say it, it's bad because you're a created being.
Right. And so if an atheist says it, they're not looking at God as like he's the high, and of course you should adore him. Of course you should worship him. This is good and this is holy. This is good, wholesome sort of whatever. Instead,
an atheist can turn John 3:16 into something holy.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's
so
the view. Because that's the view that I'm just saying how I interpreted the song.
So you read that view. You read atheism into that.
Yes, because the next one, if God is in heaven, then why does he let children die? That is something that you hear people say all over the place.
Yeah, but that's not something only atheists ask. I just had that conversation with Dorian yesterday. And if you look at the next line, if you don't ask those questions, there's no reason why. That doesn't sound like an atheist saying, fuck your religion. He's saying, we got to ask these questions. Mm-hmm. We got to have this discussion. Mm-hmm. That's not somebody who's hostile. Right? Like, you're saying that he's
What does he mean by saying if you don't ask these questions, there's no reason why? There's no reason why?
You're never going to get to the bottom of it. You got to have that discussion. You can't ignore that discussion, the problem of evil. You got to deal with it.
I don't understand how there's no reason why means you're not going to find out. That doesn't even make any sense. But
if you don't ask the questions, you can't get an answer. And if you can't get an answer, you can't understand the reason.
Okay.
So you have to question it. Mm-hmm. So he's saying, he's encouraging people questioning God and religion, but he's not doing it in a way that's, hostile, in my opinion. He's saying, if you don't ask these questions, we're not going to understand why. We got to figure it out. And then he figures we're chosen. We're not frightened of anyone. So to me, I understand why an atheist would bristle at verse 1 because they commit the category error of assuming that God is kind of like us, only a little bit stronger, a little bit older, a little bit smarter. Mm. There's not the understanding that we're dealing with a completely separate ontological reality.
Right.
So it's like, well, he's a dude like me. Why do I have to bow down to him? He made you.
Right.
He sustains you currently.
Right.
So, yeah, but that's not the tenor of the song.
Okay. I mean, that's what I got from it because I didn't understand if you don't ask the questions, there's no reason why.
Because if you look at the next one, all the visions shown before you, all the kingdoms and the thrones, all are yours if you bow before me and adore me. All this you can own. Well, that's clearly,
again, that sounds negative to me.
It is negative. Who said that?
Satan.
Right. So he's contrasting God's promises in verse 1 with Satan's promises in verse 4 or 5, whatever it is. So what he's saying, it looks to me like he's saying you've got two people offering you everything. You've got God offering you the world. I mean, everything. All I have is yours to claim. And you have Satan offering you the world, and you have to choose between the two. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like to me. But what he's saying is, if you're on the God side, great. But you have to deal with why does God let children die?
Right.
Right?
Right.
You have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So for me, you got, and Sean is saying it's a song about fighting evil, which is I agree, it's true. And when you consider the fact that you've got multiple groups who are supposed to be fighting each other in this band together, particularly the Catholic Protestant thing in the midst of the Troubles. I mean, this is an Irish band. Mm-hmm. I mean, holy shit. That's some groundbreaking shit. One of those things that I think can only happen in metal. Because we can't do this in rap. We can't have like a group of BDs and GDs together rapping together and saying we need to come together. We still haven't figured that shit out yet. But these guys have. So it's one of those things where this is where you kind of hat tip to metal and say, you got artists that are speaking about real shit in the middle of it and taking real risks, in my opinion.
Okay, and what about this one? Explain this one. Just as Satan tempted Jesus and Jesus slips and falls, he's a station on the cross now and he's dying to save us all.
When did Jesus slip and fall?
Oh, when he was carrying the cross.
Right.
Okay. I thought, again, this was a misunderstanding of what happened. Like, I thought they were just saying...
Well, it's smart.
I was say, no, Jesus didn't slip and fall. Like, Jesus was perfect in all ways.
It's a smart line, though.
Oh, that goes to the tripping in heaven thing, too.
Right.
Because I asked Vin, I'm like, there's not going to be tripping in heaven. And he was like, well, of course there is. He's like, tripping is not a sin. I'm like, well, I thought it was...
Didn't I have to have a call? Didn't you make me set up a call? Was it with, it was me, you, and it wasn't Daryl. It was another guy. You know what I'm talking about.
No.
And we had to have we had an hour conversation about it. It's ridiculous. Wow. You're like, you need to call this guy. We'll have it. It was a villager. I forgot his name. He's one of the guys that, whatever.
Oh, well. Well, that one stuck in my head.
What did?
Because you're always like, ew. That one I remembered. That tripping and falling is not a sin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
If God is in heaven, won't you save me now? Oh, Lord, forgive them for what they've done. Lost children of Babylon. Oh, Allah. Oh, no. This is the Holy War.
Allah?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Good job. Good job then, Lizzy. All right. So Ben Webb asked the question, if God is good, why do babies die needlessly? And so here's how I usually answer that question about the problem of evil and why babies die and other horrible things that are inexplicable. Deuteronomy 29:29 says, the secret things belong to the Lord, but the things revealed belong to us and our children, so that we might obey all the words of this law. Mm-hmm. And so what that is saying is there are things, or technically God's secret decree, if you want to call it that. There are things where that bad things that happen that are against God's revealed will. For example, don't kill. So when God observes an act from the lens of just his raw, pure nature, he's either happy or upset based on what the person is doing. But when God observes the same action, because you're dealing with a being. Now remember, one of the issues that you have to deal with when we're talking about God is you're dealing with a being who can function in time and eternity simultaneously. And even the term simultaneously is ridiculous because simultaneous is a temporal marker. But when you have a being that can function in time and eternity, then by definition he's looking at the world through multiple lenses. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when God looks at the lens temporally, he reacts based on his nature. So he's good, he's loving. A kid dies, he's upset. He's good, he's a giver. Somebody steals, he gets upset. But on the other hand, when God steps out of time and observes the world through the lens of eternity, then things are different. So for example, and this is an example that my son brought up to the pastor today. The pastor says everything doesn't always happen for a reason. Sometimes bad things just happen. And God is never behind any bad thing that happens. And so Dorian said, well, that doesn't work with Isaiah 53:10. Isaiah 53:10 says it pleased the Lord to crush him. That it brought God the Father pleasure in the crushing of Jesus Christ on the cross. That's what Isaiah 53 says. Okay. Well, does God hate Jesus? No. Was he doing cartwheels? No. What do we mean that God was pleased at the destruction of Christ? Well, he was pleased with the salvation that it was going to bring about because God knew that plan. Mm-hmm. So when God considers Jesus in time, this is a horrible thing, this is my son, yada, yada, yada. When God considers Jesus in eternity, he says, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. And so God operates on both. Now, here's what happens. Sometimes God lets us in on plan 2. Or sometimes God brings us into the eternal perspective because we're time bound. So sometimes God will bring us out of time and tell us, okay, this is what I was planning, right? So that's why you have passages like Isaiah 53 and all the rest of it. But and then there are times when God will personally reveal to you, this is why it happened. Like, for example, I know why I had to go to the hospital. I had to do that. I had to go there and I had to spend that time there. I had to have all these scars on my arms because there was a girl that needed to see that I had it and I made it out. That had to happen to me. It's not something where God's like, we'll make lemonades out of lemon. No.
It's not just one. There's been multiple
He
times.
wrote that into my story.
Yep.
And it was for other people. Right? So sometimes God will reveal to you his secret with scripture. Other times he'll reveal it, with your own personal whatever. And there are times when he says, no, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just going to leave you in time. And when God does not reveal to you his secret decree, then your job is simply to obey what he's commanded you. So that's why it says the secret things belong to the Lord, but the things revealed belong to us and our children so that we might obey all the words of this law. So Ben, you asked about why does God allow babies or children to die? And the answer is, I don't know why God allowed that specific baby to die. But what I do know is what God has revealed to us, and that is that we should not kill babies. So, Ben, if you're concerned about God's secret decree of infant death, which is good, one of the ways of addressing that concern, Ben, is to be the type of person that works in the world to make sure that no other baby dies on your watch or with your influence.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So that's how we're supposed to manage that passage, and that's how we're supposed to manage mysteries. We're supposed to say, okay, God's operating in time and eternity. When God operates in eternity, he's got a plan from A to Z, and it's going to be accomplished. Period. And sometimes he pulls back the curtain and shows us. Other times he doesn't.
Right.
What he has showed me, though, is the law that he's revealed, and that is something I can bank on 100%. And I don't need to ask any questions. When it says, save those who are going to their death, advocate for the innocent, care for the orphan and the widow, care for the foreigner, I say, okay, I don't know why God allowed Roe v. Wade to go to get passed under these false pretenses of right to private, whatever bullshit thing that I have no idea. But I can't stand Douglas Wilson. But what I will say is that God has created this world full of dragons, and he's created us to destroy them. And that's the fun. That's how you have fun, right? So we're always gonna, I was listening to Al-Laki, he said jihad will continue until Yom Al-Qiyamah, till the day of judgment. Jihad's gonna continue to the day of judgment. Well, now he's talking about physical boom, boom, boom. What I'm saying is we're always gonna be at war with the zeitgeist of the self, say it that way. It's the spirit of our age. Everything is about us. Everything is about our comfort, how we feel. Me. Suffering for other people. Suffering for people I don't know years later. You know how many people have sent us emails saying, I'll say kill myself, but blah, blah, blah. So I mean, you guys have seen my life. I mean, I suffered a little bit, and it wasn't fun. But those people are important.
Yeah.
And if I had to go through a little something so that they could, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm not good with women being assaulted. I don't know why God allows that to happen. I'm not good with, obviously, babies. I'm not good with the shit that we do to people all over the world. I don't understand why God lets that happen. And I have, just because I understand that that's part of his secret decree, that doesn't mean that you can't say to God, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what, even though Moses wrote that, the things revealed belong to us and our children, he still would say to God, what are you doing? So it doesn't mean you can't question God. It doesn't mean you can't say, why do bad things happen? What it means is we got to question God as a child to a parent, not a prosecutor to a defendant. God is not in the dock. He will never be in the dock, ever, in the sense that he's got to answer to us and explain himself. No. No, sir. The scripture says no one can say to him, no one can stay his hand or say to him, what have you done? In the sense of, God's not going to be prosecuted by you. You dear listener, just like me and my beautiful wife are a combination of water, blood, dirt, and arrogance. And we're very, very, very recent. The universe is 13.7 billion years old. You and I just showed up 20 years ago. So, no, God is never going to sit in the box while you be the prosecutor and question him.
Right.
But he will answer, and I've done this. He'll sit at your bed and answer as many questions as you can ask him when you come to him as a child to a parent. I can testify that as the truth. He sat by my bed many a time.
Facts.
And he said, why are you so bad to your sister? That's what he said to me a couple days. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you're so mean. Be nicer. And I said, oh, you're just like the rest of those people. Always feel bad for her. You don't know what I'm dealing with.
How dare you say those things? That's so weird.
That's what I said. That's ridiculous.
You know what's funny?
I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to go play Fortnite. I'm going to play Fortnite now.
Well, what's funny about that is that you're, like, when you get in a certain space, I don't even try to, you got to answer that question for him. Yeah. Sometimes I say, can you tell him he's being mean?
Is what thing ever going to come out?
No, he didn't ask that. He asked.
What was the question?
Well, his question was, it's the misunderstanding about the Trinity. So he's saying, wasn't God crushing Jesus on the cross? Wasn't he doing that to himself?
Who asked that?
Overshadow did. And then AT was saying, yeah, what about that?
Okay, so real quick, what Trinitarians believe is that there's one being or one what, and then within that one what, there are three centers of consciousnesses, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And so what happens is that the second person, Christ, took on a human nature. So the person of the Father punished the person of the Son in the atonement. It's a massive, massive, massive mystery, but categorically we can separate nature from person, right? In other words, if I hold up a phone, I say, what is this? What is the ontology of this? You say, oh, that's a phone. And I say, but who is this phone? And you say, well, the phone doesn't have personhood. It just has existence. So there's a difference between existence and personhood. So this phone exists, but it doesn't have personhood. Soraya exists, and she has one person. She's one for one. Let's just keep it that way. Let's put the
yeah.
She's one for one. She's one being and one person. This thing is one being and no person, and God is one being and three persons. So the second person was punished by the first person for the sins of all of us. Very, very, very good question.
Yep.
And that also explains who was Jesus praying to in the garden. He was not praying to himself. The second person was praying to the first person. Really good song. Really good song.
So what are you giving this one?
I'm not going to give it an Omega rating because the Omega rating is literally reserved for one person, but I really, really liked it. I thought it was a little bit more deeper than meets the eye. So I'm going to have to give this a 9.8.
Oh, I had 9.7.
You did?
Yeah.
Ha! I overcame it. Excellent.
Overcame it.
Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.